Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? Just got back, landed from the Minnesota trip and got back, and I wanted to jump on, the whole plane ride back. I'm hanging out with Eric, the social media dude, crushing it on Instagram, great friend. And we're talking throughout the day and throughout, whatever. And, I'm doing research and what is it that we can kind of take away from with where the 49ers are? You were in this spot last week and you got the loss and you were hoping to kind of bounce back and you should have came out angry with something to prove on prime time and you laid an egg. You laid an egg. And so we want to break a lot of that down. So we're going to go through some grades. We're going to go through some standing stuff. We're going to go through kind of what this means for the Niners moving forward. Who are the 49ers? Obviously want to get your questions. Shout out to the Countdown crew. Love you guys. Appreciate all you guys. Celestial starts this out, man. I think we're going to be all right. Wilkes is a vet with a lot of pride, talent at his disposal. That defense is legit and will bounce back. And, that kind of leads us to our poll question for all of the live viewers, because I put a tweet out there. All right, I'm just looking at social media and it's like everybody's like, Wilkes is the worst. And I'm just like, whoa. I don't understand this. Did the defense play well? No, defense was very bad. But it's crazy to me how much everybody's complaining about the defense and not the offense. That's what's weird to me. Now, the question is simple. Which group are you most frustrated with? There's 3 phases to the game: offense, defense, special teams. So I put all 3 of those up there where the votes currently are. Defense has got 56% of the vote, 36% offense, 7% special teams. And if you're wondering why those numbers don't add up to 100, the percentages were changing as we were going through. So sorry about that. Well, I want to detail that at the end of the show as well. And that's one of the things that, I really want to just dive into. What's up, Sin? And here's the man himself, Eric Meisner. The man, he crushed it this weekend. If you haven't followed our Instagram, Eric Meisner is crushing it over there. 49ers Rush Podcast. We're putting so much information and stuff out there. It's pretty cool. He has grown that channel. He's been with us for a year now. When we first started working together, I think we had like 1,000 subscribers. I was very big on Instagram. Now we got like over 13,000. So we're getting like 1,000 subscribers a month over there because of him. So shout out to Eric, man. Great job. What's up, Mike C? And I just want to say this, like, I was planning on doing this all later, but let's talk, okay? The defense was bad. I am not going to be up here and going to say, like, you gave up 452 yards. Like, that is awful. You got 0 sacks. That is terrible. But at the same time, like, hold on just a second, because the yards are a big deal. And yes, the defense was bad. Missed tackles, no pressures, like whatever else. Not good. You have 22 points. The 49ers offense should be able to score 20 points, but they haven't in back-to-back games. They scored 17 against the Browns. They scored 17 against this team. And everybody could say, oh, well, the weather is bad. The Browns defense was just that good. We had the injuries. No, BS. Like, I'm sorry. The Minnesota's Vikings defense is not good. In fact, it's terrible. It's one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. And you only get 17 points? You scored 3 points in the fourth quarter? Like, I don't know. I feel like the defense did a damn good job late in the game. You shut them out in the fourth quarter. They got 0 points scored and gave your offense opportunity after opportunity to get down there. Now, there were long drives, and I get the yards. And again, I'm not saying the defense was good. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I keep getting all these people that are like, man, fire Wilkes. He needs to be gone. And I'm just like, man, Wilkes has had not even like he had a bad first half against the Rams, corrected everything, and we won the game because of the defensive adjustments. And then people are like, well, the last 2 games were terrible. You gave up 19 points and 22 points. Like, that's not 49ers defense standards. And I think a lot of it has to do with we've experienced some great 49ers defenses. We've been great for a long time defensively. And so this is the first kind of like whatever. You gave up 22 points. No team has scored over 23 against us. And that was the Rams' fake field goal at the end of the game. It's not like we're getting butchered or anything like that. Yards are terrible. And you made primetime Kirk Cousins look like a beast. Like, so like, hear me whenever I say, like, I'm not giving them a pass at all. But I don't understand why it's our defense is awful, fire our DC and all that stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, like, calm down. Like, I'm not to that point. Now, the Vikings are not a good football team. They've got 3 wins. Listen to the people that they have beat. The Chicago Bears, worst team in the NFL, in my opinion. Carolina Panthers, worst record in the NFL. And the 49ers. One of those things is not like the other. And I don't know, man. I'm tired of being the bounce back team. Back-to-back weeks now, right? Yeah, all the injuries, whatever that happened to the Browns didn't bother them. You know what I mean? And so I want to get off of, whatever that is about, trying to blame it on injuries or no. This football. You don't do that. That's not who you are. What's up, Grand A in the house? Love it, man. Appreciate all you guys coming in there. And I don't know. I think here we go, Sean. I appreciate this. He says, here's my thing. The defense did far worse than my expectations. Expectations are key. And I think that's a big reason. Sean always explaining things very, very well. Thank you. Compared to the expectations for the offense. But like, what happened to everybody talking about how, Brock Purdy's the system quarterback and you've got all these elite tools and whatever else? Like, what happened? I think we got to be critical of it all is what I'm saying. And yeah, I don't think that the defense played up to our standards or their standards. And I mean, again, shout out to Juan Solis. He got a whole bunch of press clips, which is really, really cool. And I get that people are upset, but a lot of it's on the players and it's a collective kind of whatever. But I don't know. This is a clip from Nick Bosa, and him and Fred Warner were talking after the game, and one of the reporters asked him, and here's what he said they were talking about.
Just kind of debriefing. Both of us had our moments and had some good drives, had some bad ones, had some missed tackles between me and him, and I think me and him try to take as much of the brunt of failure being who we are and the leaders that we try to be. And, we were just kind of talking about that.
And so, like, if we look at it, like Fred Warner, he had another terrific game. I mean, and I understand that these are PFF grades and it's just a snapshot and whatever else. I get all those things. Fred Warner was, 11 points higher than any other player for the 49ers. He had an 85.4 grade. Talanoa was 2, Bosa 3. Oren Burks back in the spot that he does well in was 4th. Randy Gregory 5th. And so you had good play. But what's crazy to me is, like, Randy Gregory got 21 snaps. He got fewer snaps this week than he did last week. And he put on so much good tape. Cleveland Farrell got 40 snaps. He was our worst rated player. He had a bounce back game finally against the Browns. Dude was out there 40 snaps. 40 snaps. One pressure. Like, and, I don't want this to be like a Cleveland Farrell whatever, but that wasn't good. Not good. Drake Jackson got 15 snaps, so we're getting him closer to where he should be. He was the 3rd lowest. Kinlaw was 2nd lowest. Drake Jackson 3rd lowest. Drake Jackson's not good. 0 stats across the board. No pressures, no tackles, no anything. 47.6 grade. That is 6 consecutive bad games for Drake Jackson. 6. But all you did was, you took all of Drake's snaps and gave them all to Cleveland Farrell, who was the worst defender we had out there. Well, it's from PFF. We'll see with the film. We're going to break down the film. So I don't know, man. I struggle with that. I get frustrated. The defense was bad, and everybody should be frustrated. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Right here, we got a question. Diamond Dog Sports, what's up, man? How can everybody say Purdy isn't the reason we win games? It's the team. Then we lose games, and it's all his fault. Well said, man. And let's talk Brock Purdy, because through like 3 quarters, Brock was awesome. We just weren't converting. The CMC fumble, I think, changed the whole game, because we were at the game and we had an awesome time up to the game. And you're walking around the whole city the whole week, and every Vikings fan is like, yeah, we're going to the game, man. I hope y'all don't blow us out. Hope y'all, like, that was just the sentiment. Everybody was like, oh, this game's decided. And whenever that fumble happened, the crowd never left after that. Like, you got the interception, defense set the tone of the game. You go out there, you get the pick, gifting the offense perfect field position, and CMC coughs it up for the second time inside the 10-yard line this season. Second time. And again, back-to-back weeks that you lose by 1 possession, you get a interception, returned very far into field goal range, and you walk away with 0 points. We did the same thing last week with the Fred Warner interception. We did the same thing this week with the Charvarius Ward interception. It's not symmetrical football. The defense gave you a gift, and you threw it away. You threw it away. Now, as mad as I get about the whole CMC thing, he freaking, that dude was emotional and took full responsibility. Hats off for that.
Anytime you lose, it's a bad feeling. I think we have a team that's hypercritical of each individual, and we can't just let it trickle down, and got to take a good hard look in the mirror. I know I'll do that. I made a bad mistake today that I believe cost us the game if I don't fumble that ball. And so I'm going to put it on me and go from there.
Yeah, put it on me. It's so that was one of the cool things, whether it was, Purdy, Fred, any of these guys talking, every one of them took full responsibility for the game. Every one of them did. Even Bosa. Bosa played pretty well. Did he get a sack? No. He had the most pressures in the game, had the most quarterback hits in the game, had the most solo stops in the game. But again, the common fan and the, moderators on TV, if you don't get a sack, you didn't do anything right. I hate that attitude. But at some point, you got to get some sacks. You got to get some sacks. You just have to. And I think we've been kind of missing that. And again, I just don't understand the Wilkes blame. I don't understand that at all. That's ridiculous, man. Danson, what's up? She is incredible. Do you have concerns about Wilkes' ability to scheme the right defensive looks or make adjustments when the scheme isn't working? I feel like all anybody wants, I'm not saying this is you, but the narrative is being controlled by, if we're not hitting the quarterback, we have a bad DC. And that is factually incorrect. Incorrect. And the scheme is all right. And everybody's like, oh, we're blitzing like crazy. We blitzed 9 times, which, the average is, I think, 11 a game across the NFL. We didn't even blitz we blitzed 9 times. They threw the ball 45. So it's not like we were blitzing a lot. We were doing some zone drops, but man, you got to win one-on-one matchups, and defensive line isn't as much about scheme. So it's not that issue. And I think that the adjustments were made. They scored 0 points. They scored 6 points in the second half. And that's another thing. We turned the ball over twice in the second half, and it led to no points. Now, one of them was to expire the game, so you could throw that one away. But you gave up 6 points in the second half. Defensively, they had some long sustained drives, but I think the second halves we've done relatively well, and we've given the offense opportunities to win back-to-back weeks. The offense sees the day, against the Browns, but then the special teams missed. You see what I'm saying? This game, defense did everything they needed to do in the fourth quarter. 0 points. You knocked them out of field goal position twice with negative plays, and we got nothing. We got nothing. Well, we scored 3. But and so I have all the faith in Steve Wilks. Do I think that he's better than D'Amico in his prime time? No. But it was like this every time. Whenever Saleh first stepped in, he had a long learning time. Whenever you look at D'Amico first stepped in, he was faster. He'd been with the system. Wilks is new to the system. And I keep seeing people say things like, oh, he's got to be down on the field. You get him out of the booth. And I'm just like, man, you have never been on the sideline of a game before, because this is so typical. And they're like, oh, we need the energy and whatever else. Like, we have the energy from the position coaches. If you know Wilks' personality, you don't want him to be something he's not. Wilks isn't the fired up guy, and he never has been. He's not going to be now. Y'all remember the picture or the video clip where they're panning to him and everybody's celebrating after a pick 6, and he's just standing there like he's looking at a freaking, crossword puzzle. Like, what's him being fired up on the sideline? Like, if you need a cheerleader, that's not what it is. Wilks is fine. That's not the issue. I really don't believe that. That's just my personal take, and I know a lot of people probably disagree. I mean, all the fire, whatever. We got to get away from that, man. We're 5-2. We're in first place of our division, and people are talking about firing people. We are not that organization. There has not been a DC that has been fired across the entire NFL right now, and you sure as hell aren't going to fire the guy that has the, let me check, 3rd-rated defense in the NFL. Come on, come on. Like, we're not those guys. We're not them, and so. I think that's huge. And man, I had such a cool time hanging out with my man George, 49 George 365, one of the producers of the show. He's incredible. Thank you, friend, for coming out. Say what's up to Philip for me. He says it all comes down to one terrible play that deflated us. That 60-yard touchdown right before kind of killed our chance to steadily make, all the mistakes that we overcame beforehand. He says, had a blast with the road trip again. So I want to talk about this play because it's huge. And, we've got comments from a lot of people here, including the head coach. And he did not seem happy with what it was to end the half. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking about that play. This is the touchdown play that could have been a pick, could have been a touchdown, wound up as a touchdown. Here he is.
The assignment was blown on the touchdown, called an all-out blitz, and he's got to get rid of it right away, and he threw it up and got a chance for a pick, didn't come through with it, and they got a touchdown. It's a real bad play by us. That's stuff we'll discuss throughout this week. Obviously, I did not like the result.
Yeah, it's not like we blitzed a lot. I don't like all-out blitzes, especially towards the end of, the risk reward is pretty high. But here's the thing. Kirk Cousins was throwing 50-50 balls, and it was Jordan Addison against Charvarius Ward. The first drive of the game, guess what? We got an interception on a very similar play, and everybody was happy. And then guess what? You do it again and almost got an interception, didn't get it, and boom, touchdown. George, I'm with you. That play was the defining play of the entire. I think number 1 was the CMC fumble, because that's when momentum and everything shifted, and the Vikings believed they were in it. And then that one was key. And probably 3rd would be the missed field goal. Golly, Jake Moody. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to dive into that just yet. But I do want to say this weekend was incredible. Yeah, the game didn't go well. But the amount of people, the parties, all that stuff. Check out this picture from our night before party. Man, we sold that thing out of capacity. Well over 200 people came out. Kids got all kinds of stuff. We gave away everything that we had, which was really, really cool. It just had an absolute blast. The tailgate, man, that scene was pretty awesome. And, we packed that out. We had a great time. Drinks, music, just communities, all that kind of stuff, just bringing people together. We are, even though it's a short week, we're going to be back up at it again this week for the Bengals game. We got a home game. Excited about this, and I'm glad it's a short week because, man, I don't want to dwell on this one too long. But if you want to come out and party with us, we're going to be over in the Blue Lot. Get your tickets, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. This is going to be a big one. We're getting this one catered. We have so many signups already coming in. So we're going all out, DJ, music, everything that you need. Come party with us. Those tickets are up now, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Now, what I wanted to talk about too is, with the way that this game was scripted out, you dug that huge hole down 14-0. 14-0. And you climbed out of it. You really did. And that play, yep, right there. And, I'm with you right here. A says, exactly those two plays right there. 60 yards, 12 seconds, no timeouts. You got to rally. And for that one, you always teach, if you're not 100% on that interception, you go for the pass deflection, and especially in cover 0. You cannot go for it. You have no help behind you. You cannot go all out for a pick unless you're 100% guaranteed, because like we saw, there ain't nobody back there. There ain't nobody back there. And so, yeah, we'll see right here. Yeah, Diamond Dog. Moody leaving off 9 to 12 points off the board the last 2 games. Yeah, missed 3 field goals in 2 games. Not good. And whenever both games came down to 1 score, even worse. Yeah, he did make a 54-yard field goal, which is incredible. But, man, the momentum could have hit huge with that field goal. Could have changed so much. And it was just like, this ain't going to be our day. And it was just another one of those just killer momentums. You know what I mean? Just killed it. The CMC fumble killed it. Missed field goal killed it. And play before the end of the half killed it. And then you get in the second half, you start fighting back in the third, 2 Purdy interceptions, penalties. You know what I mean? Like that's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. And I'm with you right here. Coaching failed us. Coaching failed us. Yeah, I do think that we got outcoached tremendously. Offense and defense and special teams. We did. So, yeah, it's what it is. It's what it is. Right here, the man played in the NFL for over 10 years. Went 2-10. Not sure. Oh, you're talking about Dan Orlovsky. That dude's trash, man. He is such a, I don't know. I love it when people are themselves and put out content, and I want everybody to be successful. I cannot listen to anything that dude says. I don't want to be a hater. I hope he does well, and I hope he makes lots of money. And just because I don't like somebody's content doesn't mean other people don't love it. And he's doing something original, which I like. I do love that. But, yeah, that dude, not my jam. Not my jam. Anyway, so let's see here. A couple other questions that I wanted to talk about right here, Glass City. So, John, you think the major issue on our defense is execution and effort? You think scheme and game planning has nothing to do with it? No, absolutely not. No, scheme matters. And what the Browns did was they showed everybody you can screen game. That's huge. We're much more aggressive than what we used to be, but it's all of the above. The players got to play better, got to call better plays. Yeah, that play call, the all-out blitz right there before the half was crazy. But what if he got that interception? You know what I mean? At some point, you just got to make a play. And if you would have made that interception, nobody's having this conversation. But that's not what happened. And so, yeah, do you keep doing those risky things? I don't know. But it's a lot of things. It really, really is. And whenever you don't get pressure, and the Niners are not getting any pressure, whether we're blitzing or not, we're not getting pressure, secondary's getting exposed. And whenever you do those, we play a zone pressure system, right? So when we do that, linebackers in all the zones get expanded. And so that's why you're seeing all those crossing routes right behind the linebackers in front of the safeties have so much success against us. Because instead of dropping 7 in coverage and you're dividing the entire field up into 7 separate spaces, now you're only doing 6. Well, what happens is those linebackers who have the hook to curl zones, now it gets expanded hook to curl plus 14 yards deep, which you don't always do in a cover 2 with 5 drop under. So sorry if I'm getting too scheme heavy here, but when you bring one man, you have to divvy up that portion of the zone field that he was responsible for in coverage. That enlarges everybody else. And yes, the 49ers have 2 of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL, in Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, but they're still linebackers. You know what I mean? So they're not corners. So that's an issue. So, yeah, the scheme matters, but again, we blitzed 9 times. The problem was when we blitzed, they knew it. And I think that's one of the things that people are catching on to is everybody knows the blitz coming. We're kind of telegraphing it with different, and they can motion and figure out what we're doing, and they did really well with that. And so you got to make the blitzes when you use them effective. And I don't think we're doing that well, if that makes sense. I don't think we're managing. I don't think we're hiding what we're doing very well on defense. That's a concern for me. Now, whenever we go through the tape this week, every offensive play, defensive play, special teams play on the 49ersrush.com and our Patreon channel, I'll dive a little bit more into that. I'm going to start those early in the morning. I'm going to spend some time with the fam anyway. But I wanted to get this show out just because I wanted to talk about it. And I know you guys or whatever. We got to get on here and break it down. Sonia, she says, I noticed Kyle doing that frantic play calling again. We only ran the ball 22 times. Yep. That's an issue. It was a one-score game. It was a one-score game. One score, the whole fourth quarter. You lost by 5. You scored 3 points there. And, that's not good. That's it. Somebody's like, yeah, but you only averaged 3 yards per rush. That is true. Jordan Mason got 0 offensive snaps this game. That is malpractice. That is absolutely insane to me. You're playing against a team that is weak up the middle. You only got 3 yards, but CMC's incredible. He played every single snap, by the way, which is awesome. I'm not upset about that at all. But Elijah Mitchell got in there, negative yards again for the day, back-to-back games, negative yards total for Elijah Mitchell. I like Elijah Mitchell. He ain't Jordan Mason. And I'm not saying take CMC out, but you're splitting him out. Bring in Jordan. Let him have a chance. What you did wasn't working. Don't give up on the run game. 2 fourth-quarter interceptions, not great. And Kyle's, if it's close, he cannot run the ball. He is it's a big reason why Kyle, since he's joined the 49ers, I saw some crazy stat, how we're like 0-19 or something. Since if we're trailing by 7 points in the fourth quarter, Kyle Shanahan has not won 1 game since he's been the 49ers coach. Why? He gets one-dimensional. And anytime you get one-dimensional and the defense knows you're one-dimensional, we see the results. I love Kyle Shanahan. I do. Yeah, I do not want him fired. But there are some things that you can critique. That dude abandons the run game every single time in the fourth quarter. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. Juan, what's up, brother? He says, are we overreacting as fans because we expect so much more? I'm upset we lost, but happy we gave ourselves enough rope early this season to still be where we are. And so, yeah, I love this one. Thank you. Let's transition now to where the 49ers are. You're 5-2 team. 5-2. You're in first place of your division. Do you have the number 1 seed currently? No, you don't. But you're not too far out. And you still completely control your own destination as far as all that goes. If we look at the standings, these are the CBS NFC standings that I'm showing you. So you've got Philly. They're the 1 seed if the playoffs were today, right? Detroit would be 2 because they have a tougher strength of schedule. We're the 3 seed. So we would still be hosting a playoff game. Then based on whatever happened that week, maybe a divisional host, whatever. Falcons are 4th. Seattle's 5. Dallas 6. Tampa Bay 7. And Minnesota, who just beat us, they're the first team out. Rams lost, they're second team out. So everything that you want is still there. You play the freaking Eagles. You beat the Eagles. If the Eagles went out, we went out, but we win the Eagles game, guess what? We're the 1 seed. Detroit, good Lord, talk about getting exposed. Like, we're over here talking about losing a tough game, back-to-back road trips. Kirk Cousins had the freaking game of his career. You see what happened to the Lions? I know I'm not a Lions guy, but that was bad. And so we got to see what that looks like. But 5-2, if you double this, you're 10-4. Good Lord. You extrapolate all that out, you're talking about like an 11-5. Like, that's the type of road the 49ers are on. This was also You look to last year, Rich Eisen put this out. The 49ers lost week 6 and week 7 last year too. We lost it to the Falcons and the Chiefs last year. A little bit different because we lost to, one meddling team, which is similar. The Falcons were last year, and then obviously Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I don't think the Vikings or the Browns are going to sniff the Super Bowl, but we this is not new territory. And whether that's coaching, whether that's whatever, it's kind of where we are. And yeah, Shot J, I'm with you. In a game that close, you never abandon the running game. Pretty much condemned the quarterback. Yeah, it got bad, man. It really, really did. Late it did. And so it is frustrating. And I'm excited for what's up ahead because the Niners got a short week. You're playing a Bengals team that is feisty. And they look like they're finally, Burrow's finally healthy. They're coming off a freaking bye week. We're coming off a Monday Night Football game. So they get plus 8 days rest. But we're home. You got to rebound. You cannot lay a dud again. You can't do it 3 times in a row. And Kyle even talked about this.
Not much you can do about it. I mean, we flat out got beat. And I think right now you got to take it like a man. And we got a game here. And, I think tomorrow we wake up, it'll be 5 days from now. We got a team coming off a bye week who's been waiting for this for a little bit. And we can't sit here and worry about what's happened before this. We got to make sure that we do everything from now all the way till Sunday when that game's over to find a way to beat the Bengals. And then we go into our bye week. And I just looked at our guys right now as we got about 5.5 days left. Got to focus all on that and make sure we go in that bye week 6-2, not 5-3.
I mean, that's the goal. And so maybe we're just a home team. I don't know. we'll freaking find out. But we got to get it. We got to get it done. We got to get it done. Appreciate you, Diamond Dog Sports. Yeah, good luck to your Diamondbacks. Oh, I feel terrible saying that. I don't even like saying that. That's okay. Anyway, I know this is a short show, but I wanted to jump on here. I wanted to talk about some stuff and just, kind of put some of that out there. I do want to update the final parts of the poll, and it's gone even more so. 75% says the defense. You're most frustrated with the defense. 22% offense, 3% special teams. Yeah, and I get it. I would have voted offense, but I totally understand. That's just my opinion. Disagreements are always a great thing, not a bad thing. I don't know why people think we can't disagree. We can disagree, but the one thing that we cannot disagree on is what this fan base is. We are faithful, man. And yeah, it sucks we lost back-to-back games. Still in first place of our division. Still control our destiny, all that stuff. We got a bye week coming up, and it's going to be needed. But right the ship. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to do. So that's going to do it for us today. You guys are awesome. I'm going to go start unpacking. Get ready for this next tailgate. But you guys are the best. And until next time, stay strong, faithful.